Many people thought that 2021 will be a recovery year after the COVID-19 pandemic. More economies are reopening, stock markets perform well across major exchanges. But for Malaysia, it did not last long. By Q2, our hopes to reopen the economy were crushed. COVID-19 cases started rising, and soon we were in a lockdown again. The stock market started tumbling down. On top of that, numerous black swan events and political instability led to an uncertain future. In the meantime, the Fed made a statement that they are going to increase interest rates by 2023. How will this affect the Malaysian economy and the stock market? Will it be better or worse? Hi, I'm Frankie. Welcome back to my fuck show, Frankie Answers Questions. Today, I'll be answering questions about the Malaysian economy and where we are heading to. Question 1. The US markets are going up, but the Malaysian market is bad. Why? In the US, the COVID-19 pandemic is getting under control. The economy is reopening up, so investors are expecting people to gradually come out to spend again. Malaysia extended lockdown until God knows when. Instead of controlling the pandemic, it's more like the pandemic is controlling the Malaysian. On top of that, the US has passed the 500 billion infrastructure plan to further boost the economy. Malaysia? The parliament has been suspended since the beginning of the year. We don't know when it will be reconvened again. How to plan the country's development? Money remains cheap in the US with quantitative easing and low interest rate environment. Therefore, people invest their extra money in the stock markets to make higher gains for themselves. Malaysia? We also have low interest rates. People are also investing their money. But as long as the economy cannot be reopened and politically we remain unstable, no matter how much you invest, cannot lah. Question 2. With PEMULIH, the government is giving out money again to the people. Will this boost the stock market in Malaysia like last year? PEMULIH, the latest aid package worth 150 billion ringgit. I know some of you think that it will, but you see, last year, yes, when the government gave out money, it was a big boost to the stock market. There were some small government handouts that gave people some pocket money here and there, but this wasn't the main factor. The hot money ended in the stock market came from ICINA and the loan moratorium. For ICINA, people were allowed to withdraw 10,000 ringgit one shot, followed by 4,000 subsequently. That's 30,000 extra money per eligible person. Sure boosted the market lah. But this time under PEMULIH, iCitra can only withdraw 1,000 per month for 5 months. Apa boleh buat? How to boost the stock market like that? Having said that, it's estimated to be 30 billion ringgit withdrawal from the EPF, in which EPF will have to liquidate their investments to pay the iCitra subscribers. That means that the EPF will have to sell some of their stocks. So, what do you think is going to happen to the stock market? For those of you who have been investing in the stock market for a while now, whenever you see the EPF sells a stock, what was your reaction in the stock market? Why don't you tell us in the comments below? Then, there's a 6-month automatic loan moratorium for all borrowers, regardless if they are B40, M40 or T20. This is interesting because although it's automatic, unlike last year, this time you actually need to apply for it from the banks. For sure, some people don't apply one mah. So, I believe this time the impact on the stock market won't be as great as we have seen in the first loan moratorium last year. Question 3. The US signals higher interest rates in 2023. How will this affect the market? When interest rates are high, borrowing cost becomes higher. This translates into higher cost of doing business, especially for companies that have huge borrowings to fuel their aggressive growth plans. Since the US has firmly stated that they will increase the interest rates in 2023, this means that the cost of doing business will be higher by then and profits will be lower. Investors expect lesser growth. As a result, the US stocks responded with a market correction. Question 4. What does the US interest rate hike have to do with Malaysia? If this is any other country increasing the interest rates, it doesn't matter. But because the US is an economic superpower, it matters. When a country like the US increases its interest rates, the value of the currency will appreciate. It is a standard practice among smaller economies like Malaysia to align with the US in order to protect the currency values. This is because not doing so may lead to a sharp decline in their currency. So technically, Malaysia should also increase our interest rate by 2023 to to align with the US dollar. However, are we ready to do so? For us to be able to increase our interest rates, our economy will need to recover. Businesses need to run, and our country needs to have a concrete development plan. The problem is, things are not looking good. Our economy is not reopening due to the high number of COVID-19 cases. Vaccination rate is still low. On top of that, the political scene doesn't pave the way for a clear development plan. Because of this, we are at the mercy of low interest rates to help businesses to survive and sustain. Increasing the interest rates prematurely is like pulling off the lifeline of a critically ill patient. The good news is we have 2 years before we reach 2023. The bad news is we only have 2 years. Firstly, we have no idea when we will be able to get out of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are stuck in a lockdown, yet cases are still rising. What's going on? I thought we are all at home. I really cannot understand. Even if COVID-19 cases comes to an end, we still have to face the next hurdle. The front door, back door government. Which door do they want to use? Until today, they themselves are not sure who they want to enter those doors with. There's no clear leaderships among our politicians. We can't move on if they can't get their shit together. Only after we pass these two major hurdles, then only we talk about a possible economic recovery. We need to handle all these issues before 2023. Question 5. Where will the Malaysia market head to? As I've mentioned earlier about the situation we are in, if the country is not recovered by 2023 and the central bank increases the interest rates together with the US, businesses are our economy will be On the other hand, if they don't increase the interest rate in line with the US, our currency is So either way, we are The only way for our economy to recover is to pass through all these hurdles as soon as possible so that we are ready to enter an expansionary economy in tandem with the increase in interest rates. So when will Malaysia's economy recover? I don't know. But I know if we don't recover by 2023, we are Question 6. Question 6. Can we still invest in the stock market? Hey, next time don't include this kind of question, can I?
Ayo, but everyone want to know, man.
Every episode also ask me what stock to buy, what to invest. Always remember this, short-term investment involves emotion. In the medium term, the market reacts to quarterly results. Over the long term, it's all about fundamentals. In these uncertain times, when everything is so volatile in the short term, your best bet is fundamental. So pay attention to fundamental because it always prevails. But I know you don't like this answer because it is boring. So let me tell you what institutional investors will think in such times. I've been talking about interest rates earlier. You probably saw so many articles about it already and you are probably numb towards it. But let me tell you this, the short-term direction now is to look at interest rates. Which industry do you think is the most affected by interest rates? Banks! Assuming Bank Negara were to increase the interest rate in the near future, your bank loans will be adjusted immediately, but your FD will not until the tenure expires. This is what we call a laggard effect on deposits, which means banks have the opportunity to make short-term windfall earnings because they collect more money from loans immediately, but they pay out less on your FD in the short run. Does that mean you should buy banking stocks? All these are just theories. Whether the market will behave like that or not, I also don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. On the other hand, what goes down must come up. If you're a long-term investor, you should always remember this. Be greedy when people are fearful. But my last advice, don't catch a falling. That's all we have for today. #FAQ.